Previously on Goki Shibukawa's overview. And so it continues. So back to the 70-year-old clowning on old Edward Scissorhands over here like Uncle Drew. Now, we have to take a second to talk about Kosho. See, Kosho is a very special kind of stupid. He begins attacking this old-ass dude, ends up on the ground every time, and somehow reasons to himself that logic would dictate that he should just keep trying the same shit. Like, okay, I get that your options are, limited when you're fighting Shibukawa, but like, stop doing the same shit. It's not working. It didn't work the first time. It's not gonna work if you try it 20 more times. Anyway, as you'd expect from somebody doing the equivalent of trying to put out an electrical fire with water, Kosho realizes he shouldn't hold back against Shibukawa because Shibukawa is an old man. Shibukawa gets pissed about being underestimated, and I understand. Like, bro, he just put you on your ass like 20 times with his, flips and throws and shit. Did the first couple of flips give you brain damage or something? Like, you're just gonna keep trying to... No, never mind. I'm not gonna try to logic or reason, why Kosho just keeps trying to punch him when he knows the outcome is gonna be him getting flipped into the ground. Anyway, Shibukawa gets heated because of the whole, I'm gonna use my full power against you despite the fact he's been losing the entire match so far. So he flexes on Kosho, he decides to say some shit like, I was mastering jujitsu while you were still a fetus or something. Kosho decides to bust out, Rihito's razor edge. He starts going for the nerves and veins, and Shibukawa just neutralizes it instantly. Like, his trump card, his best attack, and Shibukawa's just like, no, I'm gonna take a hard pass on that one. Like at this point, Kosho, you gotta give up, bro. Just give up. It ain't worth it anymore. And, Kosho, being the mad lad, genius intellect that he is, does not give up. He makes some kind of grandstand gesture of destroying his own hand to blind Shibukawa in one eye with a move called Eye Ground Crush. And comparing it to the rest of his performance so far, it's a fairly decent play. Okay, maybe if I blind this guy in one eye, it's going to be easier to catch him off guard and actually get one of his nerves, his veins, his lymph ducts, whatever. But this stupid fuck. Guys, I don't hate Kosho. The man put work on Baki once, Doyle once. Like, he's not trash. But it was fake. The stupid bastard broke Shibukawa's fake eye. Oh my god. Shibukawa then proceeds to harness the full power of the Yeet, and he wins the fight. Shocker. Next fight is actually dope. Oh. It's Dopo. Dopo Orochi. I'm sorry. But anyway, Matobe and Shibukawa are shooting the shit before the match, and Shibukawa's just dumping all over Dopo, calling him average and okay, like, everybody don't revere this guy as like a god. Like, guy, I know you've been hyped up to be some kind of superpower, but come on. This is Dopo we're talking about. Dopo Orochi. Tiger Slayer, Man-Eater, Cannibal, God of War, Dopo Orochi. Surely you can't seriously think... Well, shit. Dopo, with his fucking mega mind-ass galaxy brain plays here, decides that he can't get countered by Aiki if he doesn't attack. I'm like, god dang it, Kosho! That shit is so simple. Like, I guess only 10th degree, Grandmaster black belts of karate have common sense. But anyway, jumping off that wagon of shitting on Kosho again, Shibukawa jumps Dopo for his spine. He gets bloodlusted. He's like, I'll just rip out your spine if you're not going to do anything. And Dopo uses his Bodhisattva fist, and he fists Shibukawa in the face. And boy, did getting fisted hurt. Wait. Anyway, It's at this point that, through flashbacks or Matobe announcing everything, from how Aiki counters force and adds to it to return it to sender, to how the true Seiken, Doppo's Bodhisattva fist, silences his mind, making it impossible for the user's intention to be read, to what Doppo had for fucking breakfast that morning. After all that has been explained, that's when the match comes down to a single blow. Shibukawa and Doppo start inching closer together. They've sustained damage, the two of them, a decent amount. So at this range, with this much damage for the both of them, the next hit is the last one. So basically, Doppo smacks Shibukawa so hard he's able to look at Doppo's side of the ring and his own side of the ring at the same time. But Shibukawa catches it with his fucking chin and murders Doppo. Doppo then says, "I want to die." And Shibukawa doesn't kill him, so they become friends, and Doppo cries like a little bitch. So much for the God of War. In the semifinals, Shibukawa is up against Back Banma, and he's a big boy. You guys ever get a feeling, like in the pit of your stomach or some shit, like you're about to rip ass in front of a girl you like or something? Yeah, Shibukawa was getting major ass-ripping vibes from this fight. That feeling you get? Yeah, the mood was so real, his glasses broke. Like, Shibukawa was tripping so hard, Matobe and Harada had to carry him to the arena. Like, gee, Jack, you're fighting a 70-year-old half-blind dude, half your size, that can barely stand, and his only way of defending himself, Aiki, is hard-countered by your signature move, which is biting. Do you need any more handicaps? Shibukawa must have been reading the manga before the fight, because on his way to the arena, his spider senses start tingling. He imagines a big-ass fucking wall to stop him from going into the arena. Like, I know it's his perfect self-defense or whatever, but I choose to believe that it was Itagaki. Like, I don't want to have to kill off this character already. He seems pretty cool. So, the actual fight starts off well. Shibukawa's dodging Jack. He spit on Jack's face, which caused him to drown in his own tear ducts. He actually burst his tear ducts by spitting like a thing of water at him, and he was so precise with the shot that he actually burst Jack's tear ducts, causing him to drown on his own tears. So it's we've seen some Shibukawa type shit already, and then it's all downhill from there. See, Jack seems to have an idea. He says, "Gee, wouldn't it sure suck for this old man if I started eating him?" And so he does. And Shibukawa just starts trying everything. The yeets, the flip-de-doos, the aiki, all of it. Nothing's working. But listen, you guys. Come close, listen. Shibukawa tries to throw Jack. But you know what Jack does? He uses fucking aiki and destroys Shibukawa. This shit cannot be real. They literally gave this man all the cheat codes. Like, I wonder if 7 foot tall, 250 pounds of muscle, Aiki countering Aiki, having 20-year-old Jack is proud of that win. Like, I'm sorry, that shit is trash, man. Get the fuck out of here with that. Tournament, no deaths, soul level 1 speedrun for Shibukawa. Like, Shibukawa was literally fighting Yorm, but Storm Ruler didn't spawn for some reason. That's literally paramount to this fight. Anyway, if any of you have seen the Netflix Baki anime, you're caught up. Shibukawa meets Yanagi, they chat, and from that little conversation they have, we find out that on top of being a ruthless murderer, Yanagi is also a prick. He was the one that took Shibukawa's eye out, and then he throws a hot kettle at Shibukawa in the middle of their conversation as like a surprise attack, because, yeah, thanks, I really enjoy inviting you over for tea when you destroy it. I know the Spiffing Brit would be pissed if he saw you spilling tea, alright? And then he goes on to threaten Shibukawa's life, say some whack-ass shit like fighters suck because they are naive or something. Like, okay bro, I get it, you're trying to be a really cool edgelord. Like, I'm sorry, do you want to be my rival trainer from Pokemon Clover? Because you got the Sasuke level edges here, alright? Anyway, as you'd expect from a fucking creep like Yanagi, after the fighters and the convicts meet in the Tokyo arena, Yanagi dresses up like a groundskeeper to stalk an underage boy at his school. I am not fucking kidding. He jumps Baki in the back alley behind the school. Saving grace here. That's when Shibukawa shows up for some revenge. Yeah. So first Shibukawa gets his ass by throwing a kettle of cold water at him, in a moment of surprise. Yanagi wasn't expecting him. And Yanagi, because he remembers his encounter from earlier, he thinks it's hot and he freaks out. And Shibukawa laughs at him. Shibukawa just clowned him and laughed in his fucking face. Shibukawa then begins to beat Yanagi's ass, and then Yanagi does some weak shit. He pulls out some weak-ass inverted spiked knuckles, the Beng Knock, and then Baki and Shibukawa team up and beat his ass. So he still gets the ass whooping. He even actually almost loses right then and there, like right off the bat, until he uses vacuum palm on Baki, and Baki just kind of stands there like an idiot and gets knocked out. And then 5-0 rolls up to arrest him for being a pedophile, and he runs away like a little bitch. So, after this little encounter, Shibukawa is, pretty sparse in his appearances through the rest of this season of the anime. He appears in the little meeting that Tokugawa calls to scold everyone for not, one-shotting all of the death row inmates. He hands Olive Biscuit his fucking ass, not once, but twice, in, the same episode. The man's a savage. He calls Olive fat, and then he, bullies him. And I think the last time we see Shibukawa in that last little, encounter as far as, the death row inmates arc, is when he invites Yanagi to a duel that basically results in Yanagi's total defeat at the hands of, get this, Yujiro Hanma. Yeah. He shows up, and Shibukawa's getting, his spider senses are tingling. He senses, I couldn't even take on Jack Hanma, and, is Yanagi really this bad? What he doesn't realize till he gets to the park is it's Yujiro. He's getting some Chipotle-level ass-ripping vibes on his way over the whole time. It's some serious shit. Literally. Anyway. Then, of course, in the newest season, if you all have seen that, he doesn't really appear in the Raitai tournament, but he does fight Ali Jr. And in their first fight, he gets tapped on the chin, one shot. But, he goes on to say later that apparently he wasn't being serious. And, of course, it's my interpretation, at least from what I saw in the fight, that he wasn't really expecting Ali Jr. to be as fast as he was. Because he kind of just immediately slipped past Shibukawa's defenses and popped him one on the chin. And, for all you guys saying that Shibukawa's a spoiled loser, and he was just taking advantage of the ass-blasting shit stomp Junior had just taken from Jack not too long prior, I would be remiss if I didn't remind you that in the second fight, Shibukawa is displayed very differently. My man starts the fight with that, and nature shits itself. All the birds and the bugs stop because they're like, oh god, is he coming after me? I don't think he did that shit last time, if you remember correctly. And plus, if you guys remember, when Doppo and Shibukawa were going easy on him, in their first fight, they started off by throwing shit in his face, glasses, hats, shoes, whatever, to try to distract him. They didn't really think of him as, a true fighter. They're like, oh, I can distract him just by, tossing my new Babylon 12s in his face. Shibukawa kicks off his little clogs. When they got serious, it was straight to blows. Shibukawa goes in for, the finger grab. Doppo goes in to smash his face in, kick his feet. Anyway, Shibukawa takes Ali Jr. by the finger, and they go for a walk in the park, and Shibukawa becomes a cursed image. And that's pretty much it for him. Yeah, other than his shit bet against Baki, he somehow thought Ali Jr. was going to beat Baki. Baffles me, absolutely baffling. But anyway, as far as his manga appearances, I won't go into the full nitty-gritty of it, but a good takeaway here, the main takeaways, is his fight with Musashi, where he plays the fuck out of Musashi, gets him in the Olive handshake, and then he gets murdered. But not really, so don't worry about that. And then in his most recent fight, he goes against Kyoge, the sumo wrestler, who has a 6 times size advantage. My man Shibukawa beat a damn Snorlax. And to wrap up this little video with a neat little bow, we'll talk about his little tricks, you know, his moves, his, you know, what he's shown throughout the series. I might miss a few. I don't remember them all off the top of my head, but you know, he's got a nice little kit. You know, he's got the whole kit and caboodle. For special occasions where Shibukawa wants somebody to have a nose like Patrick, he uses his headbutt. Stomps are a very effective move. You know, he can use them for killing a bug, smashing in a face, or if he's listening to EDM and he's got that beat going. We get to his more technical stuff, you know, like his martial arts, like real deal, not just trying to hit somebody with like a basic ass move. Like the finger grab, which allows Shibukawa to do my favorite yo-yo trick. Instead of walking the dog, we get walking the junior. And Shibukawa seems to have a bit of a disdain for noses, because, you know, if the headbutt doesn't work for him, then you have the Dashinage, where you literally stick your fucking fingers up some guy's nose, grab his fucking eyeballs. Not really, it's just a pressure point in that general area. It's right beneath the eyes on the inside of the nose, something like that. And slam his stupid fucking face into the ground. Maybe you want to blind your opponent and cripple him for the rest of his life. Ippon Ken should do the trick. Just jab him in his fucking eye socket with your knuckle. That's basically what Shibukawa does. He kind of has a move that's similar to Bakotsu, but I'm not sure if that's what it actually is. That's when he stuck his thumb into Roger Harlan's trachea. But finally, you know, the classic, the one that everyone knows Shibukawa for, the one and only Aiki. The flip-de-doos, as I like to call them. And, you know, flippies are good, but, you know, he's also got handshakes. Flip-de-doos, handshakes, and it doesn't even have to be flippies, you know? Aiki basically just allows you to do whatever the fuck you want to your opponent and ragdoll the shit out of them, on top of returning to sender all of their attacks with interest tacked on. Like, as they describe it for, you know, Motobe, explaining Aiki, he basically returns the attack plus 10. So, that's it for the Shibukawa video. I hope you guys liked this one. If you'll notice, I am trying to lean a little bit more towards comedy, because I've gone back and I've watched some of my videos. I'm like, wow, you know, when I think of some of this stuff, you know, after the fact, or when I'm, like, in bed at night thinking about, like, anime or whatever, because I'm a nerd, I come up with some pretty funny shit. Like, I make myself chuckle sometimes, and I watch these videos, and they're bland as fuck. So, this time, I tried to write out a little script for myself. Part 1 is one of those blander ones. When I went back and watched it, I was like, yeah, you know, I don't really see this one being, you know, I don't feel like this is an accurate representation of how I think of things. This is too analytical, it's too by the numbers, you know, it's not like me, it's not how I would explain it to a friend. So I tried to take that approach. I tried to maybe write out a little script for myself. I made myself laugh with a few of the jokes, like the one about Kosho trying to put out an electrical fire with water. That one made me giggle a few times. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys, you know, look forward to more of my content. If you guys have any suggestions, you know, hit me up in the comments section for who you want me to talk about next. What do you think I should do about my commentary? You know, anything. You know, I'm just rolling through the motions. I think next I'm going to talk about the Nomis. Nomi Senior and Nomi Junior. As far as Baki goes, although, you know, I'm thinking about doing another Kengan versus Baki, or maybe another Fate. Maybe another Fate video. I've been thinking about doing Altria, just because, you know, everyone knows her. You know, Altria, Artoria, King Arthur, but gender bender. So yeah, you know, like, comment, subscribe, do all those things, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
I bet you don't see